guys? Just getting started. Go ahead and draw my fibs from this top, say to this low right here. Pretty decent bounce up. And what's going on? So obviously the best play today would have been shorting off of the upper ADR here. Same thing for QQQ, right? Shorting off of the upper ADR. We did go a little bit higher, but I would have just shorted and just watched it kind of chop a little bit and then got my exit or either at the 200 EMA or VWAP. So remember, NQ tends to be an indication of what QQQ, TQQ, etc. is going to do. So like you should be kind of watching both on two different charts, because you would have noticed even though QQQ was above its ADR, we were not above NQ's upper ADR. And this upper ADR here is why we ended up driving down, and since we drove down in NQ, we drove down in QQQ, okay? So for me, shorts are the plays. Remember last night I made $1,000 in my funded account, so I haven't been trading on my funded account today. I've just been chilling, enjoying myself, etc. So we're going to go ahead and get on our paper trading account that we trade together with, and we are going to go ahead and get started. So I'm in short mode. I've been in short mode since we broke off that upper ADR. Just like I've been telling y'all, I think that basically every day is going to be an up and then down and then up and then down movement where you kind of take out the previous day. So I'm going to put my sell order about $5 away from where we currently are. $5 to $10, which is 85. We're currently sitting at 475, so I'm gonna do it at 485 and see if I can't get that order. It's also right where this fib line is, so just kind of hoping to get this entry. If not, then of course we'll kind of drag it down and go with the flow. But I'm short mode. And even if this ends up being a bottom, for example, and we push back up, I will then short back here, I'll short back here, and I'll short back here, because these are kind of your areas of interest for turnaround again. So, yeah, that's what we're looking for. I'm at 969 minus loss fees. Hey, that's not too bad, man. That's not too bad. That's a pretty good day. So we got our entry. I'm gonna do my exit at 75, since that's where we were just a minute ago. That would be 200 bucks on this first play. And again, remember, if need be, average down here. I'll make it 1505. That would be a pretty good average down spot if we need to. It doesn't look like we are. We're up, what is that, 50, 80 bucks. It kind of keeps hovering between there, between even and then about 80 bucks. So I think we're about to drop back down to here. And if not, again, I have my average down there. So we're up 130, 100. Might even take this if it hits 150. As a matter of fact, I will just move this to where it's at 150, which would be 77.50 as my take profit. So we're going to go ahead and move that there. I think we're about to get it hit. Keeps 1 and 2. Goes just below 480 and then bounces back up. So I don't think necessarily, Tom and Jerry, I don't think that it's going to be like start out one way and then goes the other way. What I think it's going to be is whatever the previous day did, you can expect the opposite the next day, with an overall small trend upwards into basically midterms. Does that make sense? So, you know, yesterday we were up, what was it like? Basically exactly what we're down right now. So I expect us to end up being down right in this range. Like we're gonna probably go up and then down and kind of chop in this area for the rest of the day and maybe end somewhere right in here. That way we still technically are green for the week right now, if that makes sense. So again, if this ends up being a bottom, that's okay because we have some other areas of interest for turnaround, which is okay. How would I trade crypto using my strategies and experience? First of all, I wouldn't trade crypto, but if that's what you do and you want to use these with it, then what I would be doing is if you're trading basically fast moving like shit coins, you know what I mean? Like ones that don't have like a real healthy chart, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, etc. You're gonna want to trade like on a small time frame, like how we're doing futures, because they're going to be super volatile. And then you're also going to want to, if you're going to trade like Bitcoin or something like that, maybe the 15-minute is probably the best, 15 minute to an hour. And you're just looking for the same indications, looking for the exact same indications. And again, this doesn't bother me at all. I have my average down point right here for one, which is exactly $20. So perfect. If you want to see what indicators I'm using in depth and like how to set them up and everything, because I'm probably not going to go over all of them right now, I would recommend going to the YouTube page, which you don't have to subscribe or anything like that, but just go to the YouTube page, go to the one that was posted on the 12th of this month, and watch that one. I go over like all the indicators for like 45 minutes to an hour, and like show you which ones I'm using, how to set them up, how to use them by themselves, how to use them together, etc. So definitely a good video to watch. So far, this particular one is down. Not too worried about it still. I think that I'm going to get my turnaround, and if not, I'll get my average down, and then I'll get a turnaround somewhere in here or somewhere after we hit here. What broker do I consider the best for all pairs, crypto, forex, stocks, and commodities? That's tough. Um, Probably Alpaca if you're trying to do all of them. Alpaca's pretty darn good in terms of like having that consistency with everything. If you haven't heard of Alpaca, this, if it wants to turn on, this is Alpaca. This is a really great one in my opinion. They have crypto. They have commission free ETFs and stuff like that. So I use them as well. I use Webull, I use TD Ameritrade, and then for my funded accounts, I use TopStep, and I use Tradeovate. Tradeovate's also pretty darn good. Oh, my nose is itchy. So, but yeah, I use several brokers, and the reason why I use several is because gonna use them. I'm gonna use them for different things, right? So we have Webull is what I like to use for my smaller accounts, as well as like my YOLOs. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to do something that's kind of a gamble, um, I'll do it on Webull. I have Alpaca for like um, my software that I'm creating, stock shares and stuff like that. Is what I use Alpaca for. And then when it comes to TD Ameritrade, I'm using that for like my really really long term plays. That's my biggest portfolio right? And that's kind of what I'm doing. So it looks like we're about to get our fill on our average down, which is fine. Looks like we just got it. Cool beans. So now to make 200 bucks, we don't need that much of move, but we're going to average down every basically kind of $15, $20 from our average as we can. So that would be 10, so we'll do 15, we'll average down there if we need to, up to our VWAP, and then that will probably be our last average down if we do one there. And remember, we're doing the in queue right now. We're doing futures on the 1 minute. And do stocks normally climb until its earning date? So that's actually a good indication that once earnings come out, it's probably going to drop, because if it has a good earnings, it's already priced in. A lot of people don't realize that, and they get IV crushed or whatever, and it ends up being bad for them. So if you see a stock doing this for like a few weeks before its earnings, more than likely when earnings come out, they're going to be exactly what all these people expected, and they're going to get out, and that's going to cause it to go down, which is kind of like what Microsoft had happen, where they basically beat, but they've been moving up for the last, week, 2 weeks, month, whatever. And so people are confused why they had a decent earnings but can't, they're going down. Well, that's why. So, yeah. That's also a good question. Given my is what I've noticed is the best, and that's like on a candle, and you put it like 2 to 1 is usually the best, unless you're pretty solid like in a trend. So like right now we've been in a trend. Averaging down is usually pretty good during a trend, because it'll turn back in your favor pretty strongly at some point, and you'll get your exit. So in terms of trends, I won't necessarily do a risk to reward. I'll just kind of average down as I can, because my portfolio allows me to do so. I will average down as I can up to a certain point where I have a hard stop. So for me, I guess that hard stop would either be right here or right here. And that's because this is my VWAP and this is my 200 EMA areas. In terms of futures, the best ROI I get is going to be on the 1 minute. But as far as stocks and options go, I'm looking on the 15 minute for day trades, and I'm looking on the like 1 hour to 1 day for swing trades, and that's going to be way more accurate if you're doing it that way. So come off, and yeah, that's how you like to use things. So 10,000 is plenty to start options. You could probably start options with just a few $100, to be honest with you. But yeah, you definitely can start options with that much, for sure. No problem. So I got another average down here. And now my average is there. So what we'll do is we'll do that. We got our second average down. And now our average is there. So if we're going to average down again, it'll be at 25. And we're going to average down to this 50 point. I think is going to probably be our last point of average down. Okay, if we need to. Okay, so yeah, 10,000 is plenty to use options, but what I would actually recommend instead of using options is start on the 15 minute, go on QQQ, right? And what you're looking for is basically confirmations that you're going to either go up or down. And instead of playing options, play shares of TQQQ and SQQQ and use about 30% of your so about $3,000 per play. So however many, if you think QQQ is going to go up and you'd buy calls, you buy TQQ shares, you buy them, $3,000 worth at 21 whatever, and you would wait for a 0.2 to 0.5% move in the stock share in the direction that you're looking for and exit. Or if you think that we're going down, you'd buy $3,000 worth of SQQQ and you do the same thing. And you're not looking for a whole lot of money, but you're looking to get consistent. And once you get consistent, say you turn that 10,000 into 12,000 or 15,000 or something like that, then you pump yourself up to QQQ options, and you get QQQ options 7 to 14 days out. You get the strike within $5 of the current price. So, if you think we're going to go down, you'd get maximum, it would be 274, right? Because that's within $5. And then you would just let it go 5%, and secure it, and you'd be out. Because you're used to securing 0.2 to 0.5%, so 5% is outstanding, and you're still using the same larger-ish amounts. So looks like I'm about to get my exit here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at 250 because this is a few. Well, I'm going to just put it at 3 because this is quite a few contracts, and I don't want to miss my exit if it does happen to pop down really quick, but not quite hit that 500. So we're going to see. If it doesn't do it, remember I have another average down point. We're okay. And yes, so remember TQQQ is the same as QQQ. So this is QQQ. This is TQQQ. It's going to look the exact same. I don't know why it decided to make it small. Okay, there you go. TQQQ. And then this is SQQQ. So it's literally the inverse of both of these. So that's why whenever QQQ goes up, you buy TQQQ, and whenever QQQ goes down, you buy SQQQ shares. So we keep almost getting an exit here. It looks like it wants to give it to us. Remember, this blue line is our exit, so it keeps giving it some love, but not quite. So, and yes, they're triple leveraged. So you don't hold past with those. You're not holding for a long time. Remember, that's why you're holding for 0.2 to 0.5% gains, is because they are triple leveraged. So like SQQQ is going to have theta built into it and whatnot. So you're looking for just a really, really, really quick, couple hours maybe play, and you're done. That was fake, bro. Literally, look, that thing was within 2 ticks of our order. And then this one literally fucking tapped it. Come on. There you go. Okay, so how much did we make on that play there? We made 160. I'll take it. So if you include last night, because remember these, we made 110 last night, which is this play right here. We are now up 270 in the same trading session together. Alright, Mr. Ryan. This is the account that I do with you guys that I started last month at 100,000. This is my account that I make $1,000 in every day, since I have to show another goofball. I made my $1,000 already. I'm not over trading. I'm done. Lick my gooch. That's why I got on here and I traded with y'all. All right, cool. So now we have, let's go ahead and modify this order. We're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna put this kind of around the high up here. Let's do 15. And no, I'll do 20. Alex, I use EMAs. So I use the 9 EMA, 21 EMA. I also use the 200 EMA, which is up here. Okay. I'm using fibs, so these lines right here, these little white lines are fibs, and then I'm using this is VWAP, and VWAP is going to have a couple variations within it, and those variations are going to be the 618. So these little thin blue lines are the 618. Then you're going to see thin yellow lines right here. There's one on the bottom as well. That's going to be your 2 deviation, and then there's a black line, which I'm not sure you can see, but that's the 3 deviation. And remember, these lines right here are fibs, so I can take these off. I have to draw these on. And then you have something called your upper and lower ADR, and it shows you where you open for the day. It shows you where you open for the week. It gives you a couple of like 50% lines for interest, just in terms of like where you can look for some area of turnaround or whatever it is that you're looking for. Lower ADR is going to be a range that you bounce off of, as well as upper, which is why earlier today we had that big turnaround. We turned off of the upper ADR. This was your best play for the day, was basically shorting off of upper ADR. This is from here to where we are currently, is probably about a $10,000 play on just one single contract. So very good play. High probability you could have used, right? And same thing with QQQ, since this is the futures that QQQ is based off of. Had you shorted QQQ at this level as well, you would have made quite a bit of money, right? So we just got our entry on this short that we had. Let's go ahead and put our sell order in at 15, so we can make another $100 if we get it. Oh my god, this shit's so fucking annoying. Okay, so we're gonna put it at 15 and stop watching it for a minute, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I can keep explaining these indicators. That's why I like doing the paper trading with you guys, because I don't have to worry about the money on my screen. I can answer your questions. All right, so next we have our TTM Squeeze Pro at the bottom, and what this is showing you is pressure. Okay, so whenever you see green, it means pressure has been released. There's no pressure. Okay, so right here, this is why this big move is happening downwards, is because there's no pressure. It's been released. Red is pressure building, or pressure is really high. Black means pressure is building. So when it goes from green to black, it means pressure is building. When black turns red, that means there's high pressure. And when black comes out from red, so red turns black, that means that the pressure is being released. So pressure, high, pressure starting to be released, pressure is being released, and now there's no more pressure. Okay, and that's why we're just falling, right? So you fall. Now you have some pressure building. Okay, pressure's high, pressure's being released, pressure's released. And then this upwards movement now was pressure building and pressure being released pretty quick, which is why it's been such a large move up. We ended up getting our exit already. So let's see, we made our little $100 there. So let's go ahead and add that in. So we've made 370 this session together as a group. And yeah, that's how I use these basically. So, and remember, I'm trading NQ. I'm trading NASDAQ on the 1 minute. If you're gonna trade futures with me, You need to be on the 1 minute because the 1 minute is going to be your best friend, period. So we're having a hard time passing like 25 ish. So I'm going to go ahead and put another short at 525. And again, remember, I'm willing to short up into this area right here. So I just went over every single indicator on the chart, so I don't know what else you want. The TTM squeeze is a pressure indicator, so it's showing you pressure, right? So if you see red and gold dots, that means there's high pressure. And then black, so if you go green, if you're green to black, that means pressure is building, okay? Pressure is building, so this is no pressure here. Pressure is building. High pressure right here. Pressure is being released, which is why we have this fast drop, okay? And then pressure builds and pressure is released really quick, which is why you have this very fast move up, even though it's short-lived. That's why it happens. And again, if you look at this right here, right? No pressure, pressure being built, pressure's really high, and then pressure is being released, and there you go. And yes, why not buy now? This seems like a pressure moment. I agree, it is a pressure moment, but if you're looking at this, is this not a flag downwards? So while yes, we could continue up, and I do think we might continue up until here, I'm more comfortable shorting on a trend day where we've done this for the last since 10:30, so 2 hours. When we've been going down for the last 2 hours, I'm a little bit more comfortable shorting, even though we may go up at certain points. I have a couple points of interest where we would turn down at. I have one here, I have one here, and I have one here, and then even potentially at my 618, which happens to be pretty close to this 50% line as well. Oh, I got my entry. Gonna have our exit at 20. And kind of what we're doing here, so if you pay attention, what we're doing is we're shorting, but we're shorting them at different levels every time, slowly riding up the wave up and just shorting at the next level, and hoping that we kind of get a quick drawdown, get our exit until we get to here, right? And then this is where I'm expecting a big drop, somewhere either off the VWAP or the 200 EMA. So until, regardless of this looking like it's about to cross up, these are the bigger pressure that could throw us back down, which is why I'm willing to continue to short. Tiny Rhino, isn't that not pressure though? Isn't that not pressure? Buyers and sellers fighting, creating liquidity levels is what creates pressure in the first place, no? So remember, for those of you we're trading in Q, you can use a lot of the same tactics that we're using here for QQQ, SPY, etc. And we're shorting in Q at the moment from 25. We're down a little bit. We're down 15 bucks. Okay, we're even. Something right in there. We're trying to make 100 bucks. We're trying to make it drop to around 20 again, or see it drop to 20 again. If it doesn't, we're going to keep shorting up to the VWAP, etc. So F earnings after bell, taking lotto on calls. I hope they work out for you. And oop, come on. There we go. So we got another 100 there. So if you add in for both sessions that we've had, last night and today, we have made almost 500 bucks. this is why I'm willing to do what I'm doing here. So now that we've kind of passed hour 25, we'll go ahead and do 35 if it continues up. So I mean, I've gone over the indicators probably like 4 times. If you want to, okay, so I'm not going over the indicators again. If you want to see them and you want to see how they're set up in depth, go to the YouTube page. You don't have to subscribe or anything. Go to the YouTube page. Go to the one that was posted on the 12th of this month. And I go over them for like 45, 50 minutes. Okay? You can look at this one, and it'll tell you exactly what indicators I'm using, how to set them up, and this way, because if you're new, like I see you, Tom. Um, this will allow you to go as you need to, right? You can pause it, go over it, rewind it, etc. That's why I did this day, is because I know there's a lot of people that are going to ask this question, and this helps me not answer the same question a bunch of times. I already went over it 3 times this session, so I'm not going to do it again. But this will help you out, okay? This particular video. And I don't mean to get snappy or anything, just, you know, that'll definitely help you out. And it'll be more helpful than me. So, I keep seeing you say, SPY please 0, you got 0-day trade puts at 283. Well, that was silly of you, but I think that you'll be fine, because we're approaching this 200 EMA, and if we do push up here, this will be where we turn down, and during power hour it'll probably be somewhere down, like you'll get your exit, I believe. So you might not get it exactly at 283, but as soon as you get green, you should probably X that stuff out. The channel name is Hozkala Trading. So my name on everything is Hozkala Trading. But yeah. And definitely agreeing with what Tiny Rhino's saying there. Don't trade options until you understand price action. Don't trade until you have. Realistically, don't trade options until you truly understand, like, at least you have a plan, indicators in place that are telling you certain things. But if you can't even, like, you know, say, hey, look, this is an area where we turn down at, like, I'm looking for a turn down here, I'm looking for a turn down here, etc. Like, if you can't even do things like that, you probably shouldn't be trading options at all either, because this is probably the simplest way that you can find certain plays to do, is simply by looking at different areas where you've had resistance and turn ups, and looking there. So yeah, and then having just basically using them as areas of interest where you look for either a breakthrough or rejection off that level, right? If you can't do that, you probably should just be trading stock shares, because remember, like we've been saying, is if you're just starting out, don't think you need to trade options. You can trade TQQQ and SQQ shares, get used to basically longing and shorting by trading lower risk shares, and you'd be fine. Like, you can secure small wins and small losses, and then once you get comfortable and consistent, you can then move up. And remember, the YouTube channel is Hozkala Trading, same as everywhere. The only difference is that it doesn't have the underscore. And if you're looking for the indicators that I'm using in depth, you're going to look for the video posted on the 12th of this month. Okay. Let's see. Why exit on green? You're saying for SPY? So first of all, it was on the 1 minute for one. So let's look at it on the 15 minute. 15 minute, let's go ahead and put our VWAP on here. I'm pretty sure we are about to go down hard. I've been saying that. I think your 0 day is going to be all right, but I can't remember who asked that question about SPY, but yeah. So let's go to open for the day. There we go. So we're under VWAP. It looks like we may tap off of it here. Okay. We do have our cross up, but it's crossing down. We're also approaching this upper ADR again. So I think we're at least going close to where, 50% to where we open. Makes sense. This is SPY at the moment, but what I'm normally trading is the minis. This right here. So I'm looking for a drop. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna do my first entry here if I can get it at 40, and then if I need to, I will average down at 50 at that VWAP line. Okay. So I'm trying to get my entry here. Got it. If I need to, I'll average down here. And then I'm looking for an exit probably right at 30. And why am I entering? So I'm entering because I'm expecting a drop off of this VWAP here. And sometimes you don't quite touch it, you start dropping first. So we're up at the moment, may not end up, I may get this entry. And if not, this 200 EMA is definitely going to be the drop area, and that's why I'm willing to short while we're in a small upward trend. Because also, even though we're in a small upward trend, overall, we're in a downward trend, and this could just be, setting up for another big drop. So I'd much rather be shorting right now. Yes, volume profile, TTM, squeeze. Then these are going to be, this is your 9 EMA, your 21 EMA, this is your VWAP, your 200 EMA, and your VWAP is going to have a few other lines coming off of it. So you have your 618 deviation, you have your 2 deviation, and then if you can see it, there's a black line on both sides, which is also your 3 deviation. And what that does is that just creates a range for you to be aware of. So it looks like we're about to get this $200 exit that we have. I may even just accept 150, honestly. I like 150. You know what? I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna hold it. Come on, give it to me. I went to 180 and decided it wanted to turn around a little bit. So we're waiting. We're seeing what we can do. What platform do I use for? So remember, this is TradingView. Trading futures. If you're going to trade with your own money, you're going to want to trade with Tradovate, in my opinion, just because of the fees and whatnot are way lower on Tradovate than they are on like main brokerages. And then if you want to do a funded account, I recommend TopStep because it goes through Tradovate. But you can use, whatever the fuck you want as long as it connects, right? But my recommendation are those two. And so I have one. I'm willing to average down again here. And my exit is at 30. If we move up and I get this average down, then my exit will probably be about 35 or 40 instead. And is TopStep difficult to get in? No. The only difficult part about it, and this would just be because you're not a consistent trader quite yet, is passing their 2-step system, which is basically you, if you get the $100,000 account, you have to make $6,000 twice. If you get the 150,000, you have to make 100. You have to make $9,000 twice. And we're doing NQ. So if you, as long as you're, consistent and you take, a couple hundred, basically 50 to a couple $100s at a time on your plays, you'll be okay. And I probably should have taken it when it was at 150 and then just re-entered, but that's silly on me. Whatever. I want to see that 200 come in. Yes, you can use those indicators with Bitcoin if you'd like. I don't know, man. I like Top Step because remember, if you want, like, what they're trying to teach you is not necessarily to trade NQ. They're probably trying to make you trade MNQ and help you learn how to scale in and out better, which is why that's where I started, and then I got comfortable doing that, and that's why I'm super comfortable scaling in and out of NQ as well, because I know where to kind of get my entries and my exits at this point. So remember, when you're doing Top Step, Tradeovate, etc., they tell you basically Top Step already takes out the fees when you're seeing this, but Tradeovate will have it, like, if you go to tradeovate.com, it'll show you like, hey, this is how much you made and this is how much the fees are. And with Tradeovate, the fees are like, it's like 60 cents or 70 cents per trade or something like that. So you're making $30, you're basically just take off $1, right? You need about a tenth of what it's worth. So it's worth 11,000 something. You need about 1,000 and some change. So I might get my exit. I might not. I maybe should just take this 100. We'll see. We'll have it ready just in case. Can you do this on a Roth account? I wouldn't recommend doing it on a Roth account, but I mean, I guess you technically could. So this is the thing: is if you only have one contract and it goes against you, you can lose your money in seconds. True, but that's why you have to know where average downs are at important. Because normally, right, like if I was doing MNQ, I'd be in like 2 contracts at a time, maybe 4, and with an upwards of like 20 to 50 even. And with here, I start off one with the ability knowing that I'm probably going to average down, right? So that way, if I start off with one and it goes green, great. If it goes red, I kind of want it to go red so that I can get my average down, get 2 contracts, and then scale out, right? So we're up 1.8. Okay, there we go. We got our 200. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're up 670 now total. And what I'm thinking is this is going to just kind of drop now. Cool. So I'm going to put this back at 40 in case we pop up. And if we don't pop up and we cross below both of these, I may just very well re-enter, take a quick $50. So hey, I told y'all I was confident in the shorts. So all the way up to this VWAP area, I was pretty confident up until there / the 200 EMA, somewhere in this area. I'm confident shorting. So can you get flagged for pattern day trading doing what I'm doing? I never have been. Remember, we're doing NQ. So NQ has basically a contract for every quarter. This is the last quarter. So we're just continuing down here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick entry at 20 and see if I can't get it, and then hope that I can't get my exit at this open spot here. So let's see if I get it. It got within one tick and then decided no. Almost gave it to me again, literally one tick away, or it fucking tapped it, but whatever. So remember, I like to use Top Step for my funded account. I like to use Tradovate to trade futures if I'm going to use my own money. And I use Webull, Alpaca to connect to here. And then I use Webull on my own in TD Ameritrade, or some people like Thinkorswim or whatever. They're basically the same shit. Yeah, they're about to cross. They're trying. The 9 is trying to cross below this 21 here. Shorting and puts are basically the same thing, but when you're shorting, you short or you long in Q. You can't really I mean, technically, this is a big contract, so you can only short or long that particular contract. And so looks like we're bouncing off of here, off of this open. I still want my entry here, and again, I will then just average down up to VWAP if needed. About ready to just take it at 17.50 just to get it. Every $2.50 is $50 in your contract, by the way. So that's why I'm doing it I'm doing it at 17.50 as an entry. It's at 11,047. I definitely can see it happening, but I don't think it'll happen until after midterms. And the only reason I say that is because they literally just cannot allow the market to be that bad during midterms. Remember, these are EMAs, so we have our 9 EMA, 21 EMA, VWAP, 200 EMA, and we're doing this on TradingView. TradingView on NQ 1 minute. It looks like we might get our entry here. You know what? I'm gonna stop being a pussy, and I'm just gonna get my entry at 15. And if we turn up again, I'm okay with it, because I have a couple areas of high interest where we could turn around. So, okay, got their entry. And since we're at a lower point where we could turn around at, I'm only looking for $50 here. So $12.50 is my exit. And then if I don't get that, my first average down point is going to be at 35. But it looks like it wants to give it, potentially. There we go. Okay, so we got our 50. And I like to say the name of the futures game is scalping, in my opinion, to be quick when you're going to trade NQ. But there's a lot of people who would disagree with that. But I've been very successful doing it. I've made obviously $1,000 a day. If I would have added this on to that, I would be up 17.20. So I'm saying right after November 8th, I think the market will absolutely plummet, because midterms will be done. And I think until then, we're going to slowly trend up. So notice how yesterday we were up. NQ, for example, was up a little over $5, right? We're gonna go down a little under $5 today, probably. Like, this is probably gonna be the range that we stay around. Like, we're gonna go down, go up, but we're gonna eventually end up ending the day right around open. Okay? And what's gonna probably end up happening is we're gonna slowly, we're gonna basically do this. Boom, 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 boom. And we're gonna slowly do this until midterms, and we're gonna make our way up to around, and I've shown y'all this on the 1 hour with, or the 1 day, I'm sorry, with QQQ, but there's a harmonics pattern that's saying that we're going to go up to around 290, 295. And if we did that, so let me turn off this volume profile so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, and I'm going to also turn off the ADR. So if this was to come to fruition, what would end up happening is we would create a massive, massive bearish pattern. So if we go to around, right around here, and we pop off of this line here, this would create a massive W, which would then drive us down to our new low, which would be around 250, 240, maybe even those pre-COVID highs, which were around 235, something like that. So I just, all the upwards movement that we have in the coming days, I'm not trusting any of it, period. I'm shorting every high that I see. I'm shorting it. That's why you are going to be hard pressed to see me even during like an upwards movement with, oh my Jesus, that's how many trades we've made since September. Crazy. But all the highs, right? All the highs I'm just shorting. You're never going to see me long right now, and that's why. It's because I just don't trust it. You don't know when that point of downward is going to come, and when it comes, it's going to be outrageous. It's going to be, there's a saying that they have in the market is, you take the stairs up and you take the elevator down. So do I use Elliott patterns? I don't, but I know a lot of people who do, and they're very good. And you're very welcome, future son. And that's okay, Dude Doc. You'll have that moment. Don't worry. Don't worry. And remember, we're trading NQ. But don't worry if you haven't had like a like a eureka moment or whatever. Like, you don't need a eureka moment. You need practice. You need to keep looking at this. Keep practicing with us. Keep seeing what I'm seeing. Right? Like, keep tuning in. Like, I'm gonna keep telling you why I'm doing what I'm doing, and then just go in. Right? Like, then you just go in. So we basically have been burning down since my exit, which was at 10 or 12.50. Obviously could have held that for a way bigger win. BNB, I'm sorry, I don't do cryptos, boss. I can't really help you with that. And historically, after midterms are extremely bullish, I would agree historically, but look at when we're in a recession, how they move. And also look at how when your government basically is neglecting the problem at hand, right? Like, the problem now versus other times is we literally are having the worst inflation. We're having a credit crisis. We're having a housing market crash. We're having world economic problems, energy crisis. I can go on, but there's like 10 different factors at play here. And America is basically ignoring it all and sending all of our money to a foreign country while we're having the highest inflation that we've basically ever had, and we're just creating more of it. And it's dumbfounding, but at the same time, they're just going to ignore it until after midterms. Then midterms, they're going to say, oh, they're going to do all these crazy rate hikes. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if after midterms we get a full point rate hike, maybe even twice, right? And if we get a full point hike, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. And I do agree, crypto and Bitcoin are where the market is going to be heading in the future. But the problem with crypto in general, and I won't say Bitcoin, but crypto in general, is you have to remember what the internet was like in the early, in the 80s and 90s. Nobody understood the utility, nobody understood where the real worth was at, and even today, a lot of these cryptos don't have real worth. We're just funny moneying it, right? So you have to understand that because there's no real worth with a lot of these cryptos and NFTs, we're doing a lot of there's a lot of basically useless shit out there, right? And so just like in the 80s and 90s when people thought, oh, if I buy furniture.com, if I spend $10 million on this website, furniture.com, nobody can sell a couch without coming to my website, not knowing you can make a website called suckadick.com and sell couches on it, right? And so this person's out $10 million for nothing. Well, it's the same thing with crypto. Just because I end up coming out with a coin that claims that I can have this utility, right, doesn't mean that someone else can't come out with a coin that has this utility and be better, right? So we need to figure out what it is that's unique and what's, et cetera, first before we start just throwing in money at these NFTs and cryptos and stuff. Now, I would say Bitcoin is one that's going to stay because it's basically like, think of it as the futures for crypto, right? So it's going to stay. Ethereum's probably going to stay. It has good software, good system in place. One reason why I like XRP is because they have a great banking system in place. There's a absolute reason why the U.S. government is suing them and in a lawsuit with them over what they're doing. So yeah, like cryptos are definitely where it's going to be at in the future, but you have to get the right ones. Don't just be investing willy-nilly, right? Like this is your moment to get prices like get things like Bitcoin back in 2010, 2012, right? This is your chance to get good cryptos at those prices, but you need to figure out what those good ones are. Point blank, period. So I'm trying to get an entry here at 95. Doesn't look like I'm going to get it, so I'm going to put it at 85. Let's see if I can't get it there. And I'm not gonna lie, I personally I'm not a fan of either, really, like purely fan of either administration, the Trump or the Biden administration. But I will say this: the Trump administration, while he talked a lot of bullshit and he hurt people's feelings, which I don't give a fuck about, um, he did basically everything he said he was gonna do, and he actually helped people, and though they dogged him on the social media and they dogged him on media and stuff, he did everything that he said he was going to do and then some. And, he may be a little over the top, but he did what he said he was going to do. Now, am I a fan of his antics? No. But, hey, if it gets the job done, I don't give a fuck. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. And Biden is basically, if he was my grandfather, I wouldn't let him fucking drive a car, much less run the goddamn country. Dude's on his, he should be on a ventilator. Sorry, but dude's out, man. He's been done. That's just I don't even know how else to say that shit. That's just dude is fucking. He's got dementia or something, bro. If he was my grandpa, I'd put him in a nursing home and go visit him every weekend. Like that's what I'd be. I mean, I don't think he's a terrible person or anything like that. I just think he just don't got it. You know what I mean? Like, so we made on this last play that we just did. We did another 100. So um, we're up 820 on the day, night, etc. But yeah, we're on the 1 minute. I think I'm gonna do one more play, guys, and then I'm gonna be done for this. Let's try and do enough to get us to 1,000, right? Which, and this is a good point for me to make for you too, in terms of discipline and consistency, is even though I could have obviously done this on my personal account, right, my funded account, and made another $1,000 on top of the $1,000 I made my $1,000 and I didn't want to overtrade, which is why I got on here and I paper traded with you guys, right? So because I don't want to overtrade and I'm willing to just accept my $1,000, I'm able to be more successful, right? And I'm able to be successful with all of you again and not like be worried about anything and have the fresh mindset and all that good stuff. Um, so please, 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 if you ever hit your goals, you know what I mean? Like don't overtrade. If you want to keep trading and you feel like you need to keep trading or whatever, simply, I mean, like don't feel bad about just going on and paper trading, like keeping the groove going, but don't stress yourself out, you know? Actually, I want to make my 100 on this one. Okay, made our 100 again. Boom. So now we're up 920. We need $80. You think we can do it, guys? I think we can. I think we're about to do it right here. One at a time, one at a time. Um, Limit always, Cora Allen. Never, never, ever, ever, ever do market. You're basically getting filled at anything that someone puts. If someone wanted to sell this for $1,000, you would be paying $1,000 extra. Do I go live in the morning? And do I have a Discord? I sometimes will go live in the morning, but more often than not, I'm going live at. Give me a second to think about what I'm trying to say. Um, More often than not, I'm going live at around Power Hour. All right, guys. So we made our $1,000. Boom. We are done. No more. And remember, this paper trading platform is on TradingView. If you get a little subscription, you don't even have to get the highest one. Get the lowest one if you want. Go to the paper trading section on the trading panel, and you can go ahead and do that. And yes, I do start trading at the open of night. Never traded futures. Big difference between futures and stocks ETFs. Yes and no. Think of futures as like trading 0-day QQQ options. They're going to be very, very lucrative, very fast. You need to be on the 1 minute, not any time frame higher. You can be even lower than the 1 minute. You can be 30-second, 15-second if you have the ability to do that. You need to be on as low of a time frame as you can. Tick charts are best for futures, but TradingView doesn't allow for those, unfortunately. So predictions on QQQ. So I don't like really having predictions. First of all, I like playing them as the day comes along. But I will tell you this. I do think that tomorrow will probably be green because today is red. So basically, I think we're going to just keep chopping until midterm. So whatever happened the day before, you're going to end up doing the other thing. I don't think you have to have the CME subscription to do the paper trading, but I would recommend you getting the data subscriptions because the data without the data subscriptions, you're not going to be accurate trading, right? And then how much is one tick of ES worth? It's $12.50. Every tick of NQ is $5. All right, guys. So I'm gonna head out now. We made our $1,000. We made that in about an hour, a little over an hour, and yeah. Hope y'all had a good one, and you enjoyed the live session, and y'all made some money today with me. And if not, you can always tune in tomorrow. Oh, if you want to join the Discord, I forgot to. Somebody asked me that. If you want to join the Discord, you can always shoot me an email. I'm trying to get it to pop up, but my computer's being a little slow. Um, you can always shoot me an email at emadaytrader@gmail.com. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. My shit's being slow as fuck. But if you shoot me an email at emadaytrader@gmail.com, I can shoot you the link. And if this decides to stop not responding, it'll pop up here in a second. Here, I'm gonna just type it here. EMA Day Trader at Gmail. This right here. If you want to shoot me an email, if you want to do a one-on-one, if you want to join the Discord group, let me know. I'll shoot you the link, or we can discuss how you can do a one-on-one as well. And I appreciate y'all for sharing, making sure that this is getting to as many people as possible so that I can help people make money. And I do agree with you, Nappyhead. I think that we're going to be red tonight, but then basically fill that gap during a market open tomorrow and end up slightly green. That's usually how we do things. So I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. I hope that y'all had a great session with me today, and yeah, y'all have a great one. All right, I'm going to catch y'all later.